Welcome back, everybody, to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into something a little different. We're going to be diving into the world of MSPs, those managed service providers, and we're going to be tackling that age-old question that I'm sure keeps a lot of you business owners up at night, you know?
Mhm.
How do you train your staff effectively without being scared that they're going to take all their shiny new skills and run off to a competitor?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a big fear.
It's got some really interesting sources on CharTec
Yeah.
company that says they've figured out how to deal with this.
Yeah, that's right. And, they've been doing it for a while now. CharTec Academy, their training programs have been running since 2009, and it's the biggest of its kind in the U.S.
Wow. Okay.
But but what I think is really interesting is their founder, Alex Rogers, has a pretty incredible story, and that really fuels his passion for all of this.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What's so special about this Alex Rogers?
Well, just over a year ago, he was given 8 months to live.
Oh, wow.
He actually died twice, spent a month in a coma,
Oh, my God.
the whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
But he defied the odds, and now he's back, more driven than ever to share his knowledge and help other MSPs succeed.
His resilience is truly inspiring, but it begs the question, what is this critical message that he's so passionate about?
Yeah.
What's his approach to training?
He believes wholeheartedly in investing in your people.
Okay.
It sounds simple, but a lot of NSP owners, they hesitate because they're afraid of training their employees only to see them leave for, something better.
Yeah, that's a valid fear. It's a common concern across a lot of industries.
Sure.
How does CharTech address that, brain drain worry?
Well, they kind of flip the script on you. They ask, what's worse, investing in training and risking an employee leaving, or not investing and having an underperforming employee stay? So it really challenges you to think about, the long-term cost of not investing in your team.
That's a thought-provoking way to frame it. It's
Yeah.
like choosing between the potential discomfort of growth and the stagnation of the status quo. So how does CharTech Academy actually work? What makes it different?
Well, their training is rooted in their own proven MSP model,
Okay.
which they've been successfully using for years. They don't just talk theory. They teach the practical skills and strategies that have actually worked for them.
So it's like learning from somebody who's already walked the path, and can show you the shortcuts and the pitfalls to avoid.
Exactly.
Okay, so their long history is impressive, but how does their training adapt to the rapid changes in technology? After all, 2009 was a very different tech landscape.
Right. That's where their quarterly format comes in.
Okay,
They're constantly updating the curriculum to reflect, the latest trends and technologies in the MSP space. Plus, they bring in successful individuals from the MSP world to share their real-world experiences.
so it's not just about keeping up with technology, but also learning from the successes and maybe even failures
Right.
of others in the field. That's got to be valuable. Can you give us an example of a specific skill or strategy that they teach that really demonstrates that real-world application?
Absolutely. One of the key areas they focus on is client onboarding and service delivery.
Okay.
They teach a very specific framework for streamlining the onboarding process, setting clear expectations, and proactively managing client relationships. It's all about minimizing those frustrating service hiccups that can lead to churn.
Okay. I can see how that would be incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
So many MSPs struggle with that initial client onboarding phase and end up losing clients because of miscommunication or unmet expectations.
Right.
Addressing that head on seems like it would have a direct impact on an MSP's bottom line.
Exactly. And that's just one example. They also delve into things like, sales and marketing strategies specifically for MSPs, financial management, and building a scalable operational framework. They cover a pretty broad range of topics, all designed to help MSPs run more efficiently and profitably.
So they're not just teaching technical skills, they're equipping MSP owners and their teams with the business acumen they need to succeed.
That's right.
That holistic approach seems pretty unique.
It is.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just the content of the training. Okay. CharTec Academy really emphasizes a culture of learning and collaboration. They encourage attendees to share their challenges, learn from each other, and build relationships that extend beyond the classroom.
Creating a community of learners that's smart. So it's not just a one-time training event, but a chance to build lasting connections and learn from each other's experiences. I imagine that kind of ongoing support can be incredibly valuable in the fast-paced world of MSPs.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah, it's about fostering that sense of shared learning and growth
Yeah.
within the MSP community.
Right.
And it ties back to what we were saying earlier about that fear of losing trained employees.
Right.
By creating this supportive environment, CharTech helps MSPs create a culture where employees feel valued and invested,
Yeah,
and reducing the likelihood of them wanting to leave.
makes sense. If you create a workplace where people feel challenged and supported and part of a thriving community, they're less likely to jump ship. But how do you measure the return on investment for this kind of training? It's not always as straightforward as tracking sales numbers, right?
That's a great question. It's about looking beyond those immediate metrics. Sure, you might not see an instant spike in profits, but the real impact often unfolds over time. Think about it. What if your service desk team becomes more efficient at resolving complex issues after the training? That leads to happier clients, fewer escalations, and ultimately better client retention.
Right. Those are the kinds of wins that might not show up immediately on a spreadsheet, but can make a huge difference in the long run. Those soft skills can be just as important as technical expertise, especially in a service-oriented industry like this.
Exactly. And it goes beyond individual performance. When
Yeah.
your employees feel more confident and competent, it fosters a more positive and collaborative company culture.
Mm.
People are more willing to share ideas, help each other out, and go the extra mile.
So it's almost like this ripple effect. Investing in training leads to individual growth, which then impacts team dynamics, company culture, and ultimately the overall success of the MSP.
Precisely. It's about creating a virtuous cycle where everyone benefits. And it's interesting to know that CharTec specifically encourages MSPs to send their key players to the academy, those individuals who are eager to learn and have the potential to make a real impact on the business.
That's smart. If you're going to invest in training, you want to make sure it's reaching the people who are most likely to apply those skills and drive positive change within the organization. It sounds like CharTech has really thought this through.
They have. And they're not just throwing information at people and hoping it sticks. They provide a structured framework for implementing what's learned. For instance, after Module 1, financial management attendees might work on creating a budget forecast for their own MSP, using real-world data and applying the concepts they just learned.
So it's very hands-on and practical. It's not just sitting in a lecture hall taking notes and then forgetting everything once you're back in the office.
Exactly. They make a point of bridging the gap between theory and application, which is so crucial for adult learners. And this ties back to the founder, Alex Rogers. His story is a powerful testament to the transformative power of learning and applying knowledge, even in the face of adversity.
His journey certainly adds a layer of authenticity to CharTech's message. It's one thing to hear about the importance of training from a successful business leader, but it's quite another when that leader has faced such incredible challenges and come out the other side even more committed to helping others succeed.
It's inspiring, isn't it? And it really underscores the fact that investing in your team isn't just a business strategy. It's a commitment to empowering people and helping them reach their full potential.
It sounds like CharTech is challenging the traditional view of training as a necessary evil or a line item on a budget. They're positioning it as a strategic investment, a key driver of growth and success for MSPs.
Absolutely. And they're doing it in a way that's both practical and inspiring. They're not just teaching skills, they're cultivating a mindset, a culture of continuous learning and improvement within the MSP community.
You know, it's interesting to contrast CharTech's approach with the overwhelming number of conferences and events out there that often promise the world but deliver very little tangible value. It seems like everyone's trying to sell MSPs the latest and greatest silver bullet, but CharTech is taking a more grounded and sustainable approach.
That's a great observation. Yeah. It seems like they're cutting through the noise and focusing on what truly matters, equipping MSPs with the tools and knowledge they need to build successful, sustainable businesses.
And by extension, helping to shape a more robust and resilient MSP industry overall. After all, a rising tide lifts all boats, right?
Right. If more MSPs are thriving, it benefits the entire ecosystem.
Hmm.
Clients get better service vendors, have more reliable partners, and the industry as a whole gains credibility and momentum.
So while CharTech is focused on training individual MSPs, their impact could potentially extend far beyond the classroom, contributing to a more vibrant and dynamic MSP landscape.
And that brings us to a crucial point. It seems like CharTech isn't just teaching MSPs how to run their businesses better. They're empowering them to become leaders and innovators within the industry.
That's a powerful idea. It's not just about keeping up, it's about pushing the boundaries, challenging the status quo, and driving the evolution of the MSP space. And it all starts with investing in your people, equipping them with the skills and knowledge they need to be those agents of change.
That's a fantastic way to put it. It's about empowering individuals to become change makers and in turn transforming the entire industry for the better.
It really makes you think about the broader impact of investing in your team. It's not just about mitigating risk or boosting profits, it's about fueling innovation, driving progress, and creating a more robust and future-proof industry.
It's about shifting the focus from short-term gains to long-term vision, from individual success to collective advancement.
And that's where Alex Rogers' story comes full circle. He's not just a successful entrepreneur. He's a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of continuous learning, and the transformative potential of sharing knowledge and empowering others.
His journey is a reminder that investing in your team isn't just good business practice. It's a fundamental act of leadership, a commitment to building a better future for yourself, your company, and the industry as a whole.
Well said. This deep dive into CharTec has really challenged us to rethink our assumptions about staff training and recognize it as a powerful driver of growth, innovation, and lasting impact.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to explore how CharTec is really challenging that conventional wisdom about staff training.
Hmm.
They're advocating for a really proactive approach,
Yeah.
seeing it not as a reaction to a problem, but as a strategic investment in the future.
And what's really fascinating is that they frame this concept of future-proofing your MSP. It's not just about staying ahead of, the technology curve.
Right. It's about building a team that's adaptable and resourceful and, capable of navigating whatever challenges come their way.
The tech world is notorious for, its rapid evolution.
Yeah.
What might be cutting edge today could be obsolete tomorrow. So how does CharTec equip MSPs to deal with that constant, state of flux?
Well, they instill a mindset of continuous learning.
Yeah.
It's not about mastering a specific set of skills and calling it a day.
Right.
It's about cultivating an environment where employees are encouraged to stay curious,
Yeah.
embrace new technologies, and constantly expand their knowledge base.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You can't just teach people how to use the tools of today. You have to teach them how to learn and adapt to whatever tools emerge tomorrow. It's like giving them a mental toolkit rather than just a set of instructions.
Exactly. It's about fostering that culture of problem-solving, critical thinking, resourcefulness.
Uh-huh.
They're not just teaching answers. They're teaching people how to find answers,
Mm.
how to approach challenges with a proactive and solution-oriented mindset.
That seems particularly relevant in the MSP world where you're constantly dealing with a wide range of client issues, emerging technologies, and unexpected problems. It's not a field where you can just coast on what you already know.
Absolutely. And I think this is where CharTec Academy really differentiates itself from other training programs. It's not just about acquiring technical skills.
Right.
It's about developing a broader set of competencies that are, essential for navigating the, complexities of the MSP landscape.
So it's a more holistic approach. It's about developing well-rounded individuals who can think critically, solve problems creatively, and adapt to change effectively. Those are skills that go far beyond just the technical realm.
Precisely. And, it's interesting to note that they bring in successful individuals from the MSP world to share their experiences.
Yeah.
These aren't just academics or consultants. They're people who've been in the trenches, who have faced real-world challenges and, come out the other side.
That's gotta be invaluable for the attendees. Hearing those war stories, those lessons learned from, actual experience can be far more impactful than just reading about it in a textbook.
Absolutely. It adds a layer of authenticity and relevance that you don't often find in traditional training programs. It's like having a mentor who's been there, done that, and can guide you through the pitfalls and opportunities that lie ahead.
It sounds like CharTec is really trying to create like a community, a network of MSP professionals who can support and learn from each other.
That's exactly right. They're fostering that sense of shared learning and growth, recognizing that, the MSP journey is best traveled together. It's not just about individual success. It's about collective advancement, about raising the bar for the entire industry.
Well, this has been an incredibly enlightening deep dive into CharTec, their unique approach to training, and the inspiring story of their founder, Alex Rogers. We've learned about their focus on practical skills, their emphasis on continuous learning, and their commitment to building a thriving MSP community.
Yeah, and most importantly, we've been challenged to rethink, our assumptions about staff training and see it not as a risk, but as a strategic imperative, a powerful engine for growth, innovation, and lasting impact.
So for all of you MSP owners and leaders out there listening, we leave you with this question. How are you investing in your team? Are you equipping them to not just survive, but to thrive in the ever-evolving world of managed services?
Food for thought as we wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another exploration of the ideas and innovations that are shaping our world.